Derek.
Macmillan does a huge amount to empower the patient voice, right? As do other charities, but we're here with Macmillan. And they have their own programme called Cancer Voice, which empowers and enables us to get involved. How valuable do the panel feel that the patient voice is? And then as a sort of supplementary to that, what advice would you give us about making that more loud, more effective and more diverse?
Good question. Patient's voice. How much weight does it have currently, and what can you do to empower it further?
And I would include the carer and family within that. I'm just using that as an easy panel.
Who'd like to come in on this?
I would like to say that I think the patient voice has been absolutely vital in driving up standards in cancer services in this country over the last 10 years, and I think Cancer Voices has made a huge contribution to that. And I think my advice is that it's very difficult for patients when they're going through a diagnosis, having to learn all about the condition, make choices, and so it's a to get involved as well. It's a great contribution and it's a gift, and I think we as charities and the health system has absolutely got to welcome and support that contribution in the best possible way. So something like Cancer Voices, where you have this, the admin, the backup, the organisation that goes into getting meetings and making sure that patients have training, so when they go and speak to health policy makers and politicians, and there's that kind of support so that patients can be as informed as they want to be and make their case really effectively, and not get bamboozled and so on. Then that's such a valuable thing and leads to much higher quality health policy if we as a political stroke health sector understand that and do what we can to facilitate it. Because if we don't, you end up in a no disrespect to the doctors here, in a doctor knows best world, and that's not always the best for patients.
Jane, if you were honest, what percentage do you think the patient impact has on policy and what you actually do?
Well, I think it's a difficult question to answer, that one, because it weaves such a lot through the whole process. I got into Macmillan because I had a row with a patient voice leader about whether there was any value of patient voices. No, it was Jane Bradburn. And we had a row about it, and I said, these groups are just full of middle-class women who are just a load of rubbish. And she then, I challenged, and I was intending to be a translational researcher. I'd just come back from Harvard. I was going to be, Mrs. Cure. And we had this row at the Royal Society of Medicine, and I employed her to go and have a look at all the support groups in our area. And suddenly all this invisible stuff came up, stuff that I thought I was doing a great job. What it does is that a patient voice and a supported patient voice, it challenges people. And that challenge surfaces things that you just did not know were there. So when you're saying how much does it influence policy, it's quite difficult to measure that because it infiltrates the whole. If you've got empowered people who can come in and say things all around the organisation, and you go and see a great group of them, it has a huge impact, and I can't overestimate its importance.
So the answer here is profoundly.
Yeah. And can I just very quickly say that I think it's hugely important, as we've just discovered, in sorting out patient pathways, but it's also really, really important in talking to other people who are on a cancer journey. And, it can help them, but it possibly can also help the Cancer Voices as they are having the conversation with somebody else, get to terms with their cancer too. And so I think that the power and the value is absolutely huge and immeasurable.
But I think in the end, the most important people to talk to are the rest of the world. Because, not everybody is intimate to what happens in cancer. And in terms of both prevention, care, understanding, voting for change, etc., a mass understanding of cancer is incredibly important.